Good day, everyone. I am Santi Manuel, a student of College of Education at Nueva Ecija University of Science and Technology. I am presenting to you a Google Podcast Empowering Language Proficiency. Many virus-borne diseases, including the common cold, remain incurable to this day. Many viruses do not have vaccines, but we've learned to live with them by adapting our lifestyle. As long as the world has not found a cure or a vaccine for COVID-19, we may have to adjust to a new normal, meaning a new way of living and going about our lives, work, and interactions with other people. New normal will entail increased health precautions, fearing a new wave of infections. Governments will continue to impose strict controls to stop the virus from spreading. To avoid a possible national economic collapse, digital technology will play a large role in ensuring the critical sectors such as business, banking, health, food services, and communications continue to operate. While these are just a few of the possible scenarios in the new normal, we can safely say that it will be anything but ordinary. In education sector, they use blended learning. Blended learning is a technology-enhanced combination of online and offline learning methods. Online learning occurs when students study with their teacher and classmates via a webcam. Enabled applications such as Zoom, Google Meet, and many more. Whereas offline learning occurs when the teacher provides the students with a lesson, sheet work, or assignment which they can complete at their own pace within the deadline. All submissions and grades are done online. During this difficult time, this new way of learning brought by the COVID-19 pandemic may be an additional challenge, and since returning to the new normal anytime soon, let's all do our best to adjust and make the best of the situation we've found ourselves. Remember that the goal of online learning is to keep students academically engaged so that they can maintain what they've learned. As a student in this new normal, I find it so hard to focus on my studies in this kind of environment because of the noise from the environment. The dog is barking, the sound of the car, the noise from our neighbor. So I put my earphones on and I think deeply until I found the Google Podcast. Since I wear earphones all day, why not I use it to engage in my studies? The app called Google Podcasts will use Google's recommendation algorithms in an effort to connect people with shows they might enjoy based on their listening habits. While podcasts have previously been available on Android through Google Play Music and third-party apps, Google says the company expects podcasts to bring the form to hundreds of millions of new listeners around the world. According to Zach, a product manager on the app, there is still tons of room for growth when it comes to podcast listening. Creating a native first-party Android app for podcasts could as much as double worldwide listenership of podcasts or overall. Google Podcasts will look familiar to anyone who has used a podcast app before. It lets you search for new podcasts, download them, and play them at your convenience. More than 2 million podcasts will be available on the app on launch day. Google says, including all of the ones you've heard of. Open the app, and the section called For You shows you new episodes of shows you've subscribed to, episodes you've been listening to but haven't finished, and a list of your downloaded episodes. You scroll down and you see top and trending podcasts, both in general and by category. The podcast player has fewer fine-grained controls than you might be used to from apps like Overcast. You can customize the skip buttons or create playlists of podcasts to listen to. The podcast app is integrated with Google Assistant, meaning you can search for and play podcasts wherever you have Assistant enabled. The company will sync your place in a podcast across all Google products. So, if you listen to half a podcast on your way home from work, you can resume it in your Google Home once you're back at the house. Added to that, you will be able to read real-time live transcriptions in the language of your choice. Closed captions also mean that you'll be able to skip ahead to see what's coming up later in a show. Eventually, you'll be able to read real-time live transcriptions in the language of your choice, letting you listen to a podcast even if you don't speak the same tongue as the host. With podcasting, learning is no longer a sedentary activity, as every lesson can be downloaded on their smartphones, tablets, or iPads. Students can attend to it even when they are away from their study table. Learning can occur even when a child is mowing the lawn or while lying on their bed. It stimulates different types of learners, as students can learn visually through videos and PDFs, auditory through audio clips, and also by doing it physically. Thus, students are motivated to learn and excel. Unlike traditional pedagogical methods, podcasting allows for new approaches such as guest lectures, interviews, video demonstrations, and so on. It encourages students to create their own podcasts, improves listening skills, and improves learning by tailoring content to each child's individual interests. Podcasts can enable us to be a better speaker by imitating the podcaster's pronunciation and diction.